Hello there, my avid readers. I'm Autumn, and I'm here to tell you a little story about how I reported my mother-in-law, Eleanor, to the cops. I know, this may seem to be drastic and unnecessary for a lot of people, but I felt really good slapping my greedy mother-in-law with a lawsuit. Now, what did she do to deserve this treatment from me? You will find out once you read my story. Let me just get the basics out of the way. You already know about me and Eleanor. There's also my husband Connor and sister-in-law Celeste, who are equally important in the story. Connor and I were your classic college sweethearts turned married couple. Our relationship went very smoothly over the years, and we never had trouble with our own families. In fact, I really considered Celeste to be like a friend and sister to me. Yes, we were that close. Now, I wasn't close to my mother-in-law, Eleanor, in the beginning. I won't lie and say that she was impolite. She was civil, although a little lost in her own world. She loved to talk about herself, and someday I had doubts that she was a narcissist. Anyway, I didn't pay much attention to Eleanor since she wasn't that interested in me. However, things changed when I got a great job and landed a good inheritance from my grandparents. Suddenly my mother-in-law was a little too talkative with me and kept coming over to our house. Initially, I was happy because I thought it would finally let us have a good connection. However, Eleanor was trying to have a good relationship with me for a very different reason. Soon she started to make demands and expected me to cater to them. She regularly kept asking me to buy her ridiculous things even after I had expressed my discomfort. She had said, "Autumn, you need to learn to be a little generous. Your selfishness has become very apparent recently. You have so much money now, and you should be helping us out with that." I'm willing to help out when it's necessary, but I don't feel comfortable getting you something that is just a luxury. What nonsense, Autumn. We don't draw boundaries between families. You really should be willing to share everything with your family. I have been dying to have those diamond earrings of yours. I love that design. I was hoping you would give it to me for my birthday. The diamond earrings she was referring to were the heirloom earrings that were handed down to me by my mother. They were in my family for 6 generations, and I got it after my grandma died. Those earrings also belonged to my mother, who regularly wore them before she passed away when I was 10. Since I was a minor, my grandma kept it with her to make sure it was safe. The pair of earrings had a lot of sentimental value attached to it, and Eleanor knew that. I had no clue why Eleanor thought it would be a good idea to ask me to give them to her. She wasn't lying when she said that she wanted those earrings. Eleanor had actually kept harassing me for months to get those earrings, but I had told her in no uncertain terms that she would never get them. Even Connor, who usually just gives in to her demands, clearly told her that those earrings were off limits. But that didn't stop her from pestering me. Slowly, I was getting tired of Eleanor's constant demands. She was truly an entitled and selfish person and had no regard for others. I was starting to maintain my distance from Celeste, especially since she kept asking for my earrings. It was getting rather annoying. However, I wasn't completely aware of just how severe Eleanor's obsession was with my earrings. It was Celeste who opened my eyes to it. Celeste randomly called me on my lunch break and asked to talk. She sounded nervous, and I immediately knew something was wrong. I said, "Celeste, are you okay? You sound nervous." "I'm completely fine, Autumn. You don't have to worry about me. I just need to talk to you about something." "Sure, I'm free right now. Tell me what you want to discuss." "Autumn, I'm sorry for asking you something personal, but do you happen to keep your heirloom earrings in your closet?" I was a little taken aback by this question. Out of all things Celeste could have said, I never would have expected this. She even sounded a little embarrassed when she said it to me. I was really confused, but decided to grace her with an answer. She really was a good friend to me, and I trusted her. I said, "Yes, I do keep it in my closet, Celeste. I really have to ask why you were asking me that. Look, this will come as a huge shock to you, but I think my mom has been planning something. I'm afraid she has lost her mind." "What do you mean, Celeste? You need to tell me what's going on." "Autumn, Mom wants to steal your earrings and replace them with a cheap replica. She even ordered one at my friend's store. I thought they were for her because she liked the design. Well, it's not. Again, I wasn't expecting to hear this at all. It seriously made no sense to me. Why would my mother-in-law go out of her way to do something like this? Was Celeste sure that Eleanor was planning to steal my diamond earrings? Sure, she was really enamored with it, but was she going that far to get them? I knew I had to ask Celeste for more information. I didn't want to be paranoid about something that Eleanor maybe wasn't even planning to do. I said, "Are you sure that your mom is planning to replace my diamond earrings with fake ones? Maybe she did get the earrings made for herself. It might be possible." Trust me, Autumn, I really wanted it to be the case, but it's not. Mom actually spilled the beans to me yesterday. I was going mad thinking about what to do. Honestly, I had a hard time believing it myself. This is very serious, Celeste. I would like to think that my mother-in-law is a decent woman, albeit a little greedy. Maybe I was a little delusional about Eleanor as well. I simply didn't think that anyone I knew would be capable of stealing things. The fact that my own mother-in-law was doing something horrible didn't sit well with me, so I had to be sure that Celeste knew what she was talking about. Celeste immediately told me. I thought so too until she talked about stealing your earrings. God, she even tried to make me agree with her by saying that she would leave the earrings to me as my inheritance. It's just downright disgusting. Oh God, Eleanor must have lost her shit. Thanks for telling me, Celeste. You could have given in to your mother's promises and kept this information from me. I really appreciate your honesty. There was no way I wasn't telling you, Autumn. I just needed some time to believe it myself. Anyway, now that you know, you should be careful about your stuff. I don't want you to lose something so precious and sentimental because of my own mother. Celeste and I talked for a little while before hanging up. She hadn't told Connor about what my mother-in-law told her. She wanted to inform me first. I wasn't sure about telling Connor either. I mean, he did have a tendency to shield his mother and dismiss her behavior. He does draw boundaries with her, but I think she forgives her a little too easily. Besides, I wasn't going to accuse or confront Eleanor without proof. I didn't want to be the bad guy when I was not. So I came up with a plan instead. I actually ended up installing security cameras in my closet room. I told Connor that I wanted to have every inch of the house protected. There have been several break-ins near our house, so we were both considering having cameras in the closet room. After all, we did keep our valuables in the closet. So Connor didn't get suspicious when I asked for cameras in the closet room. With that out of the way, I simply waited for Eleanor to make her appearance or tell Celeste about how she had completed her mission. Guys, Celeste wasn't kidding or exaggerating when she said that Eleanor was trying to steal my diamond earrings. She did exactly like Celeste had warned me about. She had called me a week later and said, "Autumn, Mom said that she had the earrings with her. She even came by the house to show me. I looked for the engraving that you talked about. It's there. She took your earrings. She wasn't here when I was at the house. Maybe she came by when Connor was home. He wouldn't suspect his mother of stealing things, so he may not have kept an eye on her." Yes, that's exactly what she did. She came by yesterday when you were out for dinner with your friends. Connor was home and he didn't suspect a thing, of course. She told me everything. You need to go check and see if she replaced your earrings. I hung up on Celeste and immediately went to check on my earrings. It was a Sunday, so I was off from work. Connor was home too, so if Eleanor had really done it, I would be able to explain everything to him without Eleanor getting to him first. I went into my closet and pulled out the earrings from my jewelry drawer. No, I don't have it in the locker because I wear it often. Well, I inspected the earrings and saw that it was indeed a fake and rather cheap replica. Eleanor had actually stolen my earrings. I sent a quick text to Celeste confirming what Eleanor told her. I also checked the security footage to see if it had caught my mother-in-law stealing my earrings. It did its job and got a clear video of what Eleanor did. Then I went to talk to Connor. I was a little nervous because I didn't know how he would react. I was going to come clean to him about everything because I didn't want any misconceptions between us. Connor might love his mom, but he was also a reasonable guy, so I had high hopes that he would side with me. I went to Connor and told him everything. I even showed him the earrings and how it was missing the engravings. He was stunned and looked really stricken. He said, "I don't know, Autumn. I'm finding it hard to believe that Mom would do something like this. Are you sure it was her? Maybe she was joking with Celeste and she took it the wrong way." "I don't think so, Connor. Actually, I'm sure she is the one who replaced my earrings. Remember the security camera we put in the closet room? It caught Eleanor taking and replacing my earrings." "What the hell, Autumn? Do you have it on video? Show me right now. I need to see it. If my mom has done this, I will not spare her. I can assure you that." I quickly pulled out my phone to show Connor solid proof that Eleanor had stolen my earrings. He looked at the security footage quietly and didn't say a word. After the footage ended, he sat there for a while saying nothing. I was, again, a little unsure what he would say or do next. He sighed heavily and said, "I believe we should call her over to talk about this, Autumn. We really need to confront her. I'm sorry I let her wander around the house without supervision. I shouldn't have given her the chance to do anything." "It's okay, Connor. You wouldn't have known. No one would think that their mother is capable of theft. Besides, she knew that you trusted her, and that's why she came when I wasn't around." "She misused my trust, Autumn. I feel terrible about this. God knows what would have happened if we hadn't caught it on camera. I'm freaking pissed at this, Autumn. Why aren't you more upset?" "I had known for a while since Celeste told me everything. For me, it was a matter of waiting. I didn't tell you because I didn't want to make accusations without proof. Plus, even I was hoping that she wouldn't actually go through with her plan." Connor and I sat in silence while he texted his mother to come over as soon as possible. Eleanor was in a cheerful mood, so she agreed immediately. She had no idea what was in store for her. Meanwhile, me and Connor eventually decided to talk about what our next steps would be. I said, "Connor, I don't want Eleanor to get away with this. She knew that the earrings were sentimental to me. She shouldn't have taken it. Plus, she grossly violated our boundaries and did something unthinkable." "I agree with you, Autumn. There's absolutely no doubt anymore that my mom is the culprit here. We absolutely need to let her face the consequences of her actions. What do you have in mind?" "To be honest, Connor, I'm actually considering calling the cops. I want to press charges against her. I won't cause a lot of trouble, but I really can't have her think everything is forgivable." Connor was thinking hard about what I said. Calling the cops on Eleanor would be a big move. I wasn't sure Connor would be on board with this. No one wants to see their mom go to jail, but I was telling him the truth when I said that I wanted to press charges. I felt like it was necessary. My husband thought for a few seconds before saying, "I agree with you, Autumn. Calling the cops would be the right thing to do. If it was someone else, we would have called the cops anyway. We can't let Mom get away with her actions just because she's my mother." "Really, Connor? You would support my decision if I call the cops on Eleanor?" "Absolutely, Autumn. Do what's necessary. You don't have to think so hard. Like I said, this is the right thing to do. Besides, I was thinking of going low contact for some time. I won't feel comfortable having her over or being in her presence for now. I am extremely disgusted with her behavior." I was glad Connor was on my side. It made me feel less guilty and gave me the incentive to actually call the cops on her. But before that, I wanted to let Eleanor tell her own story. I was interested to see what excuse she would come up with to make herself look better. I was also completely on board with going low contact with her. It was an added bonus for me. Eleanor arrived in about 30 minutes and walked in looking extremely smug. Like I said, she was in a good mood after stealing my earrings and thinking she wouldn't get caught. But when she took one look at our serious expressions, she quickly became nervous. She said, "Hey guys, what's going on? You two look very serious right now." "You tell us, Eleanor. We are in this mood because of you. Care to explain what you were up to at our house yesterday?" "What? I don't know what you're talking about. I was only here to visit my son." Eleanor was nervous, and it became apparent. She hadn't expected me to outright question her actions and pinpoint the time when she was at our house stealing my stuff. However, she feigned ignorance and looked offended that I was asking about her whereabouts. I pressed on, determined to get the truth out of her. I said, "There's no reason to act so clueless, Eleanor. We know what you did last night. We know exactly why you came by the house when I was away. Are you going to confess, or should I spell it for you?" "What are you even trying to say, Autumn? I have nothing to confess. I didn't do anything wrong." "Fine. Be that way, Eleanor. It doesn't matter whether you confess or not. We know for a fact that you stole my heirloom earrings and replaced it with a cheap replica." Eleanor instantly turned pale and started to shiver a little. It was clear from her body language that she was scared. She had no idea we would ever find out, let alone in a matter of a day. She immediately went into defense mode and started to cry. She said, "How dare you accuse me of something so horrible, Autumn? Have you no shame? I'm your mother-in-law." "I'm not accusing you of anything, Eleanor. I'm simply telling the truth. You are the one who stole my heirloom earrings." "Are you hearing this, Connor? Your wife is accusing me of such a horrible crime. Aren't you going to say something?" "What do you want me to say, Mom? I never thought you were capable of doing something like this. I'm so ashamed that I don't even want to look at you." Eleanor had not expected Connor to take my side. She had thought that crying to Connor and painting herself as a victim would get her out of the situation. She was willing to lie and throw me under the bus to save myself. I wanted to laugh at her pathetic attempt at turning the narrative. She kept crying and said, "Connor, you have to believe me, son. I didn't do anything. I knew how sentimental those earrings were to her. Do you think I'm capable of doing something like this?" "No, I didn't think you would be capable of doing something like this, but you did do it, Mom. We have plenty of proof against you." "Connor, how can you say that with so much resolve? I'm telling you, Eleanor's making up lies. I don't know what proof she showed you, but it's completely fabricated." "You needed to think hard before saying that, Eleanor. We wouldn't have confronted you without solid proof." "That is impossible. You're making baseless accusations. You have nothing against me. All you said are lies. I'm innocent." "Eleanor, you planned your move very well. We almost didn't catch you. You did everything possible not to arouse suspicions when you stole my earrings. Unfortunately for you, there was one thing you never thought about. I have a camera in my room, Eleanor. I know what you did. We have clear footage of your crime." Eleanor was now stunned into silence. That was something she had never expected. It's common for people to put security cameras outside their home, but very few people put cameras inside their homes, let alone in their closets. So it didn't occur to Eleanor that there might be cameras in the room. She was shocked and scared when she realized that she had been truly caught. Immediately she started to cry and held her head in her hands. Connor was extremely pissed off and said, "There is no use crying now, Mom. You made a horrible decision on your own, so you don't have the right to feel sad." "I'm so sorry, Connor. You know I always wanted a pair of diamond earrings. I asked Autumn repeatedly to give me hers, but she wouldn't listen, so I was forced to do this." "Don't you dare try to pin the blame on me, Eleanor. No one in their right mind would give you their heirloom jewelry. You are not entitled to anything just because you are my mother-in-law." "You have so many nice things, Autumn. Why couldn't you give me just one? This is all your fault. You should have been generous and offered me the earrings. That's why I wouldn't have had to steal them." Classic Eleanor was blaming me instead of accepting her mistakes wholeheartedly. She was trying hard to deflect the blame and somehow make me the bad guy. She was an expert in this and thought Connor would give in. However, Connor wasn't impressed with her tactics at all. Instead, it made him mad as hell. He basically yelled at her and said, "Mom, how can you still blame my wife for your crimes? You have no shame, do you? Any decent person in your place would be begging for forgiveness, but you are just shifting blame on Autumn." "Connor, you have to take pity on your poor mother. I got momentarily weak and did something stupid. Your wife needs to calm down and let it go." No, my wife doesn't need to calm down and let it go. In fact, she will be pressing charges against you today. You shouldn't have stolen her earrings, Mom. Now you have to deal with the consequences. Eleanor started to bawl on my living room carpet while she begged us to spare her. She could see that her one son was no longer supporting her, and when Connor talked about calling the cops, she realized that none of her tactics would work. Things were serious, and we wouldn't just let her go this time. Eleanor begged for ages before we kicked her out of the house. Connor also clearly told her not to contact us again since we didn't want her around anymore. The next morning, I went to the police station with Connor to report Eleanor to the cops. I also provided the security camera footage as proof of her crime. The cops were quick and got her arrested from her home that very day. She did get bail, but the case would go to court anyway. Eleanor was now in full panic mode, and even Celeste wasn't talking to her anymore. She tried a lot of tactics to make us forgive her and even return my earrings through Connor. However, we were adamant about going through with the case. From what my lawyer tells me, she probably won't get jail time, but will have to pay a hefty fine. And guess what, guys? She should even have to pay my lawyer's fees. So that was the story about my scheming mother-in-law who got a little too greedy for her own good. The lawsuit against her hasn't been settled yet, but things are looking good for me. I have my valuable earrings back with me while Eleanor is spending her time alone thinking about how she would come up with the money to pay me. Her children no longer contact her anymore, and from what I hear, she is miserable right now. I don't know if we will ever have a relationship in the future again, but for now, I won't have to worry about her antics anymore.